Well, longtime fans of the channel may be anticipating a certain soundbite from me during this video. I may want to delay your satisfaction because I can't even believe that in the year of our Lord, 2023, I saw what was trending and it was real. That's right, the 875th anniversary of Game. It never ends. It never ends. I've been YouTubing for a zillion years, and it was before I even started. And it is now back because of Call of Duty, apparently. Now, the Rolling Stone ran out. Remember when the Rolling Stone was cool and they wrote about rock bands and stuff like that? Well, they don't do that anymore. Now they just do like leftist propaganda. And what's interesting is just how hilariously they got ratioed on this article. And I wanted to give this article its fair due. Now, everybody knows that there's a bit of a hullabaloo going on in the Call of Duty community right now with the removal of the Nick Merckx bundle. He's a popular Call of Duty streamer, simply for saying, hey, you know, keep away from little kids. It's a pretty simple thing to do, I guess, for every group but one. And then the subsequent removal of Tim the Tatman in solidarity with Nick Merckx, which I think was really cool of him to do. He probably didn't want to do it, or he probably felt really crappy doing it. But that's a true G. That's a true bro. But interestingly enough, Rolling Stone has now referred to all of this as Gamergate. If you were around 100 years ago when this was a thing, I don't have to explain it to you. I will give you the 30,000-foot view if you don't know what Gamergate is. Essentially, it turned out that games journalists were sleeping with game developers in exchange, allegedly, for favorable reviews. What made it worse is the people sleeping with these people for good reviews were heinous looking. On top of that, they tried to make it about harassment and all this other stuff, all of which was debunked by the FBI. All the various threats that many of the grifters that rose up in this era like Anita Sarkeesian, claimed to get were all debunked. None of the things actually happened. So all of the narrative around it was a cover-up for the fact that games journalists were heinously, horribly untrustworthy and would give favorable reviews and coverage for a crumb of puss. Okay, that's what Gamergate was about. And journalists to this day have not really improved themselves in any way, shape, or form. They took a massive L when the FBI came out with that report. And now ever since then, they've continued to push this narrative because they just can't take the L. They're like, no. It was about harassment. It was about women in video games. No, it wasn't. It was about journalists being unethical and sleeping with each other for favorable reviews with indie game devs. And again, I want to point out again, the women exchanging this currency were heinous. I don't even understand what these developers were doing. But you see everybody here in the, it's trending. Again, this gave rise to a lot of content creators like Sargon of Akkad, Mr. Medicare, and internet historian, I guess he was at that time. It was an interesting time where you had even like Hollywood people, like Stephen Baldwin, I think, getting involved. Then you had like the kicker, Chris Kluwe from the Minnesota Vikings. It was this weird thing. And all the people on one side were going after journalists, and the journalists were using every tool they could. Remember, they had the secret journal group where they were all coordinate stories. The name of it escapes me now. Essentially, journalists were slime balls. We all knew they were slime balls, and then it got revealed that they were in fact slime balls. But then the Rolling Stone puts out this article, which is getting ruthlessly ratioed, by the way. Outrage over Call of Duty LGBTQ pride brings us full circle to Gamergate. By the way, last day to order the quartering snapback crossover hat over on coffeebrandcoffee.com. And also, it's Friday, cloth off, but also it is the day I would hope that you would give us a try. We have 5 signature blends of unflavored coffee from light, ultralight roast to dark roast. And we have about a dozen flavor roasts like strawberries and cream, blackberry cream, blueberry cobbler, which is wildly popular. We have cold brews. We have decaf. Promo code the quartering, and you'll save. And you'll be supporting a local business, and that's me. So let's see. D-Day Cobra, our expectations were low, but holy F, 3,200 likes. By the way, this tweet for Rolling Stone magazine, which has 6.2 million followers, has 189 likes. How are these companies, these like agencies or these, you know, whatever, how are they still in existence? Nobody cares about them. Literally almost every reply ratios them. Impressive ratio you got here. You know, okay, Groomer, that's got 2,000 likes. Gamergate really ruined you all, didn't it? GGTSD. You know, like, it's, are you for real? 300, y'all do realize Gamergate was journalists hooking up with people whose products they were covering, right? I mean, again, Gamergate was a rational reaction to mainstream media and game journalists promoting factoids over facts and sensationalizing grift over games. It was never a hate movement. I mean, it's still there. All the people still remember the heinous things they said about gamers and all the people whose lives they tried to ruin. The people who, remember that GoFundMe? Remember that video game that Zoe Quinn was going to make and she raised all this money to make it and then never made off of her Gamergate fame? Remember Anita Sarkeesian grifted millions of dollars off people and now it's all gone and Feminist Frequency is completely broke? It's because none of these people really cared about anything. They were just in it for the grift. And by the way, certainly there were people on the pro side that were also grifting. And most of them have gone by the wayside too. I don't want to drag any names through the dirt, but you'll know who I'm talking about. So, I mean, I think that there's certainly people on both sides that were grifting, but, you know, there was one side that was correct and the other side, well, they're still screeching about it. You know which side lost? By the fact that they're still talking about it in 2023. This was like, what, 2016? Another day, another multi-billion-dollar corporate giant in the crosshairs of the anti-woke right. By the way, you don't have to be right-wing to be anti-woke. I'm not anti-woke, and I don't consider myself right-wing. I generally vote Republican, but that's because I'm a business owner, and I'm selfish, and I want to try to pay less taxes. Okay? Surprisingly liberal on almost every other issue. Give me a fiscally responsible Democrat, and I'll consider it. As with any of these stories, the inciting controversy is ridiculously minor. It's ridiculously minor. Nick Merckx, a streamer who came up, I like how they have to put out his real name. That's by the way, for those who are new, that's a power move by journalists. They'll say like, "Oh, we have your real name, so therefore, you know, we can get at you, we can investigate you." So he talks about the tweet. No real drama erupted a week after. No, I'm sorry. The real drama erupted a week after the bundle went live on sale when Nick Merckx tweeted the apparent support of anti-LGBTQ protesters. That's not correct. He tweeted support for protecting kids. So then that's kicked off. By the next day, Activision had removed their products from stores, and the Call of Duty Twitter account seemed to confirm that the decision was connected to the tweet on the Glendale fracas. The game also reiterated the commitment to Pride Month. It has featured Pride content for several years. That's all I see is Pride flags in the game, except not in the Middle East. Activision did not immediately respond to Rolling Stone's comments. The same right-wingers who have lately pounced on Bud Light, Disney, Target, and Chick-fil-A for efforts at expanding diversity and inclusion fired up the outrage machine to retaliate, with gamers announcing their intent to quit Call of Duty forever. Nick Merckx didn't back down from the tweet, saying on a stream that he thinks LGBTQ identities shouldn't be discussed in school, by arguing the comment wasn't anti-gay. It isn't, and he's right. Another big streamer with the COD bundle, Tim the Tap Man, again, got to put his real name out there, tweeted that Nick Merckx was a friend and therefore, out of solidarity, he had his removed. The outrage campaign quickly took shape based around the incident, mocked Call of Duty as Call of Groomers, alluding to the baseless homophobic and transphobic smear that holds any discussion of queerness and gender. Why are you talking about with kids? Nobody's going to call you a groomer if you're talking about it with adults. I mean, it's just very simple. I don't really understand. It says, so they have Tim Pool here, Call of Groomers. And then they've got Libs of TikTok. Call of Duty just removed Nick Merckx operator bundle because he tweeted leave little children alone. Call of Groomers. Hey, look at, I'm in here. Boppity boopy. There I am. What did I say about me? But this freaking out popular game entertainment is somehow breached by liberal attitudes of acceptance is also revealing throwback to the troll movement that opened the floodgates of such crusades almost a decade ago. Gamergate. In 2014, 2015, male gamers, yeah, there are definitely no women on that side. Maybe look up gingiarchy, I don't know. Waged relentless misogynistic harassment of women in the industry who were sleeping with game reviewers. I mean, sorry. Using the excuse of trumped up media scandal to vent their fury at which they saw progressive and feminist values in games. Targets were doxxed. No, they weren't. And threatened with violence. Actually, 100% verifiably false. The FBI said that never happened. We know the FBI would never lie to us. In those days, the woke crowd was maligned as an army of social justice warriors. The recent Call of Duty blowback, of course, follows a script increasingly extreme anti-LGBTQ rhetoric. Hey, look, I know I have LGBTQ viewers. I appreciate you. And I think that you would probably agree that some things don't involve, some things you don't teach in elementary school or middle school, and that's okay. We can agree on that. I don't have any problem with people being gay. I don't, and I never have. You have, so the whole thing is like, they put, why? What's wrong with my tweet? Nothing. It got 1.8 thousand likes. I think it's, 40 times the amount, or 1,000 times the number of likes Rolling Stone gets. I can't believe it. I guess this is the most anyone's talked about Rolling Stone in a long time, but hilariously, not for a good reason. Like, they're just look at this. They have 6.5 million followers. They can get 10 likes, 12 likes, and they're tweeting. Imagine this is your job. You tweet for an account that has 6.5 million alleged Pakistani bot followers, and you can't even break 100 likes, like, at all. Pathetic. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. Make sure you check out coffeebrandcoffee.com today. I guarantee you'll like it. At least check out the reviews. I think if you check those out, you'll see that I'm not just saying it's good because it's my product. There are literally thousands of 5-star reviews. With 4,300 reviews, we have an average review score of like 4.8. So, and if you don't like it, I'll refund your money. Coffeebrandcoffee.com, promo code TheQuartering to save, and we'll talk to you again real soon.